Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I have another one-page wonder for us today. So this one is one I've made bunches of times, and I really enjoy having to give as gifts or to include inside journals. This I first saw several years ago, and I believe it's Liz the Paper Project, so it has a video as well on how to make these, and these are basically 3 pocket envelopes, and depending on how you decorate and embellish them, they can look completely different, which I love. So this one is made with 12 by 12 paper, and so I'm going to make one with a piece of scrapbook paper, but also show you how I made this one with some large book page from a coffee table book. So you've got a pocket here, and they have a lot of space in them, which I love. And then you lift up this flap, and you have another pocket right here. And I put a little thumb notch there, right? And then when you flip it over or look on the back, there's a big pocket, a really large one. And I certainly could have decorated the back too. That would have been pretty. All right, so it's not hard, but you do have to pay attention to how you turn it to fold and then glue it together. So we're gonna make a couple so that hopefully that's clear, and then maybe decorate a little bit too. We'll see how much time we have. All right, so again, I have large coffee table books, and I just cut it to 12 by 12, and we'll fold this one in a minute, but let's do the one with the scrapbook paper first, okay? So I am gonna score. You can just measure and fold if you want to, but I am gonna use my scoreboard. And this is just kind of thin scrapbook paper, which is fine. You can use thick cardstock paper as well. But when you're scoring on the thin paper, you just don't want to press down too hard. That's kind of why I brought that up. So I'm scoring right at 6 inches. So honestly, if you don't even want to score that one, you can just fold your paper really neatly in half. Okay? So score at 6 inches, and then turn the paper. I don't think it matters which way you turn it, but I don't know. This does have some direction to it, so we'll see what happens. I can't really remember how to do it when there's direction to the paper. All right, 2.5. We'll just see how she turns out, okay? 2.5, score at 2.5, 7, and 10. And again, if you're using thin paper like me, just don't press down too hard and cut through your paper. All right, that's all the scoring. Now, we're gonna just take a few moments and neatly fold. And when I say that, even though I've scored, I just want to make sure as much as possible I make sure my edges are lined up and everything's looking okay. I usually have to trim these up just a touch. It's not a problem, but you know, it's something about all the different layers, I think, when they get folded. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to avoid that, but it looks great at the end, and that's what matters. All right, so I'm just folding along each of these lines, trying to make sure I'm keeping it all straight. Okay, so I think I told y'all about my daughter who had car problems when she was on a road trip in Maine, and we ended up having to buy a car, and it was this whole thing. Well, one of my other daughters got up this morning. She has an internship that's about 30 to 40 minutes away, depending on traffic. It's still in this area, but it's a bit of a drive. And her car started, but the engine light came on, and she said it wouldn't move. So unfortunately, I had to stop. I was in the middle of prepping for this video. I'm going to ink a little bit so it'll be easier for you guys to see when I'm cutting here in a second. But anyway, took her to her internship, and then came back, and I kept thinking, I was like, you know, I'm going to just check her car really quick. And it seems fine to me. There was no check engine light, and it started. I drove it around the block a few times. I then talked to my husband, who's at the office today, and I said, I think she tried to just start it and go, and it probably, I don't know what happened. I'm not a mechanic, but the car is fine. I took it to Target. I put some gas in it. It's totally fine. So that was my excitement today. Is figuring out what's wrong with all the cars in our household. All right. Now I've just made sure all my folds were nice and neat. We are going to make one cut right along here up to the center. And I actually just trim out the part of the paper that got a little, let's go to this side, that, that was folded. And by the way, I hope you haven't started cutting yet. Stop if you have. This is on the end there's a 2-inch section. This one's 2.5. This is 2. So you want to cut on the side that's the skinny side, the 2-inch side. I should have told you that from when we scored it. Okay. And then just cut this little piece out. All right. That may seem like a little extra, and you don't have to do that part, but I think the little envelope comes together a little better if you do that. All right, and that's all the cutting. Nice, right? Okay, this is where it can sometimes get a little fiddly, so I'm going to give you, we're going to do some thoughts here. Okay, so lay your paper down with the cut side, and then fold it in half. And you could have done either side, by the way. We could have cut this side and left this side hold. It will make a difference on where our pocket is on the back. And I think I did this one different than my prototype, but that way you'll get to see both, right? It really doesn't matter unless you really know you want the pocket on one side or the other. All right, I digress. Lay your paper flat like this. The print side down. If yours is book page or double-sided, the side you're going to see is the side that's down. Okay? The white you're not going to see, or the pattern on this side. Fold it in half. Okay, and then you're going to fold it up, not at this fold, but at the next one. Okay, so just fold it up. So now you have something that looks like this. And then this one's going to come down, okay? And then this one is going to come down. And this is what I meant by I always end up having to trim it up just a touch. Don't know why. It just does that to me. Okay, and that's it. Now we just have to start gluing, and I am going to punch some little notches. So we'll do the notches next, but I mean, that's your folder. So here's going to be your back pocket. So see how it loads on the left? No, it's actually the same. Isn't it? No, mine loaded on the right. Okay, doesn't matter. And then when we add a little bit of glue, it all just comes together. So where do I want some punches? I want a little thumb notch right here on this pocket to just, you know, and I'll ink it or put something up under there, but just so that we know there's a pocket there. Not necessary if you don't want to do this step. Okay. And then I also, I'm going to close it back up. I also like having one on the back. I just think it looks nice. Okay. So fold it up so you know you're on the right section. And then I think it's easier to unfold it, and I'm going to put a notch here. And I'm going to eyeball it in the center. But again, that's up to you where you want to put your notch. And I didn't make it too thick. Now, if you want to do a lot of inking, it is kind of easier to ink the pockets and things before you glue everything together. I'm not going to spend time on camera doing a lot of inking, but certainly you go ahead and ink yours if you want to before you glue it together. All right. Now we may, you can corner around these. You can see on mine, I did a little scallop corner punch on that one. This one I layered some of these. I left them out in case I want to decorate with them. I'd made these a while back in another video, and I thought they would be fun to decorate the envelopes with, so I have several of those out for us. They're just little ticket strips. But there's like so many things you can do. All right, so the first thing we're gonna glue together is we are gonna glue this flap down just to start holding it together. And this is where you can kind of straighten everything up a little bit. I'm gonna use some wet white glue. You could use a glue stick here, or even like some score tape or something like that if you wanted to. Just to go quick, I'm going to use what I have sitting on my desk. And I am going to try to line it up nice and neat. I'm using, like I said, pretty thin paper here. So you may want to, you know, that may impact the kind of glue you choose to. All right, now the other thing we're going to do is this section. These two pieces we're just gluing together, just kind of like this one flopped over and glued down. And the reason we cut that, by the way, and did that there is so that we don't have a white section when this gets all folded up. Otherwise, you know, maybe you could skip that if you have, I haven't done it, but like you had two-sided paper and you could see the other pattern. That might be something to try. I went ahead and did it when I made the one with the book page. And didn't really think about that. But. Okay, so now those are glued together. And I'm going to go ahead and just trim this off, this white piece. Again, you won't notice it later that I did that, but I'll be happier with my project. Just trim it off carefully. Okay, so again, fold up, fold down, and fold down. I am going to add a little bit of ink in here. Don't have, this is I finally treated myself to a new sponge tip, and so there's not much ink on it yet. Ugh, and I could unfold this and make this a little easier, but okay, that's enough. I'm not gonna worry about it. And do I want to do a little on the back? I do. Just a touch. Okay, just so it's not quite so bright white there. All right, so now let me show you how you're gonna glue these together. The first one we're gonna glue is this pocket. So all you need to glue is this section right here. Let me ink that, maybe to help you see it. So we're gonna add glue from here to here. That leaves this pocket open. You can also put glue on the flap if you want to, but just so you guys can hopefully see what I'm doing. And again, just make sure everything's nice and smooth. All right. There we go. And then this is the flap. Now, if I fold this one down, I just have to add glue here and here to make this pocket. And then we will have 1, 2, and then the pocket on the back. So just add glue right along these two edges, and you'll be done with the gluing. Now I have made these two where I put like a eyelid and do a ribbon closure. You could even, you know, have it open like this if you wanted to. Of course, if you were going to do that and it being a left to a right open, you'd want your pocket up here. My pocket's at the bottom, so that's when it might really matter to you which way you do your flap. But there's our pocket. It's open. I am happy with it. I like it. And then all I have to do to make it look wonderful is decorate it. Let me show you what it'll look like if we round the corners. I'm going to use my punch that's a 1/2 inch round. So you can round the corners. I'm going to trim off the little teeny tiny piece of white here. I hope this shows you that, you know, it doesn't have to always be exactly perfect, but see, that still looks great. You can't tell I just trimmed that off. And I'll punch these. Now on my other one, I used my crocodile punch, like I said, that had that little scallop corner, and that looked really cute too. Okay, so it's done. Now it's just to decorate and to add some pretty things in there. So real quick, let me do just in case you want to see me fold it one more time, I'm going to do that for you. And what was interesting about how this book page came out of the book is this is 2.5 inches. Isn't that fabulous? So when I go to fold this up and to score it, you'll see why that's so exciting. But again, I'm going to first score it at 6 inches. Try not to punch through my paper. And then when I turn it, I would be scoring at 2.5, and it's already at a 2.5 inch. So that was wonderful. Oh, 7. I hope I didn't go too hard. And 10. Okay, so 12 by 12 paper at 6 inch on one side, turn it 2.5, 7, 10. All right. And I kind of went too deep. My paper is tearing just a little bit, but we can fix it. It's all fixable. Okay, so again, looks like I did not do a good job scoring this one. So we're gonna just even it up. Goodness, I went through on a few spots. This is old paper. Even though it has a nice weight to it, I guess it is a little more fragile than I was giving it credit for, but it'll be okay. So that's my 2.5 inch piece. And then I scored it at 7, and it's tearing. Ah! Again, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that. Okay. And then I scored it at 10, which left us 2 inches. I'm going to see what happens if I don't trim that and see if it works when we go to fold this up. Just because now I am curious. Okay, now this one's a little, in my opinion, more difficult to see, just with all the different things going on. All right. I'm going to fold it this way. Now, let's pretend my slit was here. And I'm going to fold this one from the left to the right. And then we fold it. Oh, wait. I had to make sure I had the 2 inch part. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to pretend that we cut a slit on the 2 inch side from here to here, because we may have to go back and do that. But you fold it. If you guys are probably going to give me bunches of thumbs down and dislikes, and I'm so sorry. I'm trying to just show us that if we have a piece of paper that's double-sided, do we have to do that slit? If you have white paper on this side, you're definitely going to want to cut the slit like I did. Let's see what happens though. So we've got it face down. This is going to be the side of the paper that we see on our envelope. I'm going to fold it left to right. We're going to fold it up, and then we're going to fold it down. And we have to have the slit if we want a pocket. So that just answered Pam's question, right? So again, I'm going to trim right along that score line. And this one's already tearing, so I'm going to just be extra careful, but I'm not going to worry about cutting out that section. Okay. So you have yours like this, right? Fold it in half. So the cut side and everything is down. Fold it not at the first score line, but the next one up. This is going to be a pocket. Fold it down. And the way we did it is we flipped it around if you have white on that side, so it covers it up. In my case, it doesn't matter. I can do it either way. Not quite sure why it's because the paper. It's just so fragile right there. Okay. We have a pocket, and now we have our folds. All right, so 1 with a pocket, 2 pocket, and on this one, we will put our punch and have a pocket on the back. Now, if you do what I did and you went a little too crazy with your scoring, you could have an issue like I'm having where it's starting to just come apart on me. I know I glued this section down, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down to protect this paper. We'll just go ahead and glue it and then see where we're at. So let's just glue it to protect this. And I'll make sure I'm on the right. I've got it lined up. Okay, I think I'm going to be much happier now that I have glued it. And then I know I've got to glue this section to this section, right? So I'm just going to add glue to the entire section. And then we'll see how we're doing on these other pieces and if we need to add like a little piece of paper to patch it or some washi tape or what we want to do to just make sure nothing's going to tear. Okay. Okay. Now it may have been easier for me to punch before I glued, but we'll go ahead and punch now. So let me get my paper punch. Add just a little bit of ink so we can hopefully see that. I may have to break down and get myself a new Distress ink pad in walnut stain because this one is really it really dried out on me when I left it open. Let's use this one. This is Walnut Strain Distress Oxide. Let's see if it'll pick up the ink. Yep, there we go. It's picking it up better. It's a different formula of ink, but that's okay. I know it's a different formula, but I don't really know like exactly what it does. Does anybody know? If so, leave me a comment and tell me, help me understand and learn about Distress ink. Okay, this one is my back pocket, and I want to make sure I have this correct. This is how it's going to fold together, and it's this section right here that needs a notch if I want to have a notch. So again, I'm just eyeballing the center. Okay, I hope I did not confuse you guys too much with this project. I love this particular envelope and really wanted to show you guys how to do it. And it got a little crazy there for a minute. Okay, now to show you one more time how you glue it together, it's easy. We're gonna first just glue this section to make this pocket. So a bead of glue. I'm gonna flip that over and show you. See how it's off just a touch? Just gonna carefully trim it off. So if yours does this, don't get frustrated or don't think, oh my gosh, it looks so sloppy. Just take a moment and trim the edges up, and it's still, I promise, will look fabulous. Okay, and then glue on these two sides to make that pocket. All right. There we go. And I think it's okay. I don't think anything else is tearing. All of these are kind of doubled. We got the pocket on the back. I think it looks great. Let me show you that other punch real quick, our corner punch. So this is the one that has the scallop and the stub. And the scallop, I think, looks so cute on these flaps. Now I ended up on my one that I decorated for you guys to show you at the beginning. I ended up covering this flap with the ticket strips, so you didn't see the scallop that I put in, but I like it. This one you'll be able to see. And I need to let the glue hold. I need to let it stick before I start playing with this too much. All right, so if you use 12 by 12 paper, they all turn out the same size. I think it would be so fun to have like a whole stack of them all decorated up. And there you go, another one-page wonder. I am not going to take the time right now to decorate, but I I think you can see once you do how wonderful, and even just putting your little journaling cards and ephemera pieces in there, how nice it looks. I will say, when you're decorating, be conscious of how it's going to look when it's all closed on the front, because that might impact what you want to put on these flaps or on this layer. Okay, but the possibilities are endless. I love it. I think it would be pretty with like some fabric or some lace. I hope you guys make some, and if you do, let me know. I would love to see your creations. Thanks for your support. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'll be back with more. Until next time, have a great day.